Hey, what's up, everybody? You're listening to Classic Kiss on the Soundcheck. My name is Garrett, and I'm joined by my two co-hosts, as always, Tyler.
What's up, everybody?
And Beau.
How's it going, everyone?
And we have a fucking awesome episode this week. We're going to be covering Destroyer. I really do enjoy this album as a whole, and it's going to be fun to see your guys' opinions on it, because I know it is one of those albums that's a little bit it's not you either hate it or you love it, but it was very...
It is a little polarizing.
Yes.
And I know, thinking about it, I'm surprised it didn't agitate more Kiss fans at the time, but I guess they didn't really have that many if you stop to think about it.
Right.
So
yeah, I mean, basically that it's kind of polarizing in a sense, because, you know, a lot of the diehard original Kiss fans didn't really care for it, but a lot of people who kind of came in with Alive didn't really mind it, you know, so because they weren't really used to that original sound, you know, as much as what the people who had like the first records, you know, and all that different stuff and actually saw them live. So do want to take a quick moment just to apologize for no episode last week. I was actually in Florida and just didn't have time to we actually recorded this episode, but there was some audio technical difficulties, and I just didn't have enough time to edit it, and we're actually re-recording this episode. So if we kind of skip over some things, that's our fault, but I just wanted to let you guys know that we should be back on track to our weekly episodes. So without further ado, I say we get right into it.
Yeah, I guess it's time we started getting down with some rock and roll.
Right, yeah, Destroyer. Wow. I mean, I guess I'll just give some general info on it. It is the fourth studio album from Kiss. It was released on March 15th, 1976 by Casablanca Records. And it's actually an interesting tidbit. It was the third successive Kiss album to reach the top 40 in the US, as well as the first to chart in Germany and New Zealand. I didn't know that.
weird. Okay, interesting.
So I guess Dress to Kill did a little bit better than I thought, you know? Because I mean,
you
if
said
it's
fourth, right?
no, it's the third
okay.
third successive fourth studio album.
Yeah, Dress to Kill was to that point of the original three, their highest selling album.
Really?
Because each one just kind of pegged a little higher.
Right.
But they still weren't doing enough.
Well, good to know that. I had no idea. And that's actually pretty interesting, because, I mean, we had obviously talked in previous episodes about their struggles of trying to, you know, land some acclaim on their studio albums and stuff like that. But really interesting. It says the album was certified gold by the RIAA on April 22nd of 1976, which is, wow, literally just a month after. So that's pretty solid. And platinum on November 11th of the same year. So, man, I mean, this album basically was their, I guess, studio album is their claim to fame, you know?
Yeah.
Because we talked about how Alive got them in the, you know, their foot in the door with commercial success, and then Destroyer just, you know, popped it off, so to speak. So, yeah, I mean, what are some of your guys' general thought points on the album, you know, before we go into the history of the recording and stuff like that?
You know, for me, I'm going to be honest, leading up into doing multiple re-listens for this specific episode, I was never the biggest fan of this record. I never hated it. It was never my favorite.
Yeah.
So, I mean, my opinion has changed a little, but, you know.
What about you, Beau?
I mean, I've always liked this album, and just a couple songs here or there maybe, but yeah, no, this is, for me, is a great album. So
yeah.
Cool. I mean, if we're doing top 5 albums I appreciate more, it'd easily make that top 5.
Definitely.
But thinking about it, I don't know that it makes my top 5 Kiss records.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we'll have to save that for a later episode, which we do plan on doing after we cover all the albums. Just because we enjoy doing this a lot, we kind of thinking about some different show topics, you know, that we could do, maybe some top 10s or top 5s, and, you know, just different, whether it's albums, concerts, tours, costumes.
Oh, the costumes.
Yeah, costumes will be fun. Top album artworks, all that different stuff. So that'll be fun to get into when we, finish all the 1,800 studio albums from Kiss. So
yeah.
So just a little info about this album. It was recorded at the record plant in January through February of 1976. And a little bit of it was recorded at Electric Lady Studios in September of 1975. So they actually did do a little bit of recording in late 75 while they were on tour. And then I think they also did a little bit of, they took like a month break or something like that during January through February to record this while they were on the Alive tour. So, and I know they played some of the songs from this album on the Alive tour to kind of garner some attention for it, to promote it a little bit. And I think it was like Shout It Out Loud mostly that they did.
That makes sense.
Because that was their first release, or their first single, I should say, off this album.
Right.
Which that one was released, I think, March 1st of 1976. So, yeah, I mean, I want to talk about the record plant because it's, and when I say the record plant, that's what the studios were called that they recorded at.
Yeah, didn't you say the record plant was like a big facility full of different studios?
Yeah. Okay. It's like I don't know if it was like massive, but I know it had a couple different studios in it. Like I know they referenced like Studio A and Studio B and stuff like that, which that was pretty common to have like 2 or 3 different like studio spaces inside the actual building,
Right.
But what's so significant about this recording studio is that the amount of talent that came through this recording studio and recorded albums, singles, jingles, whatever you want to call them, is insane. I mean, it has, let me see here. Some of the artists that recorded here include Fleetwood Mac, the Jimi Hendrix Experience, Eric Clapton, David Bowie, Aerosmith. I think the Runaways did stuff here. Alice Cooper did stuff here. A bunch of people, man, especially like top-notch artists. I think the Rolling Stones probably did something here too. And fun fact, Kiss would actually go on to record Love Gun, Dynasty, and even Unmasked here at the record plant. So, 3 of their next 4 albums, not including, their compilation of Double Platinum and their live album, Alive 2, were recorded at this studio.
Which I'm pretty sure, because trying to do research for like the couple records we're doing here past, like last weekend, of course, next week. Reading No Regrets, I'm pretty sure Ace mentioned that they did Rock and Roll Over at the record plant also.
Did they really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I could be misremembering, but I'm pretty sure that's what he said.
Really?
Yeah.
It could be a possibility. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. I was just going off of a list that I found on the internet where it was like notable albums. So maybe like people like they just didn't think that Rock and Roll Over was a notable album to put on this huge list of different albums from all these different artists. You know what I mean?
And Unmasked was?
yeah, exactly.
Bruh.
Yes.
So it very much could have been. Maybe they recorded some parts there because I know that's, a lot of bands will do that. They'll record some of it at this, they even did it with this album.
Yeah.
They did a little bit of recording at Electric Lady Studios. Like I said, back in September of 1975. So, yeah. I mean, that's just a little bit of history about where they recorded it at. And I mean, like, I think they were in Studio A for most of their recording sessions. And yeah, I mean, just a top-notch recording facility. And I think it was like the highest of the highs, in New York City while it was open. And then they even opened up one in LA, I want to say, called Record Plant in LA or some shit like that.
Okay.
So yeah, just a great studio, has great sounds in it. You can get great sounds in it. And, I mean, that's kind of, I kind of look at it as Bob Ezrin's playground, which, I do want to talk about him a little bit too. Bob Ezrin, obviously the producer for this album. He was a young, up and comer had a few big albums under his belt with Alice Cooper, and that's how Kiss actually knew him, was through Alice Cooper. They loved Alice Cooper, you know, especially like drawing heavy inspiration from his live show. And when they found out that Bob Ezrin was interested in working with them, they definitely took notice. And actually, I have a story about that. Bob actually ran into Paul, I want to say. He ran into Paul on the stairs of, I think they were coming out of their apartment complex or something, but they kind of lived in the same complex of buildings, or maybe they were at the studios or headquarters of their record labels and stuff like that. And Bob passed him, and they kind of like looked at each other, and they kind of recognized each other. And Bob like says something to Paul. He's like, "Hey, you're the Kiss guy, right? You guys are the Kiss guys." And he's like, "Yeah, my name's Paul," or whatever. And Bob's like, "Oh, well, my name's Bob Ezrin." He's like, "Oh yeah, I've heard of you. You did stuff with like Alice and stuff like that." And he's like, "Yeah." And Bob just straight up asked him, he's like, "I have a question for you. Are you satisfied with your records?" And Paul, like, he's not taken aback from it. You know, he's just like, it's kind of like a weird question to be asked. Like, are you satisfied with your records? Of course, most people are going to say, yeah, you know? And so Paul's like, "Yeah, I'm pretty satisfied with our records," talking about, you know, Kiss, Hotter Than Hell, and Dress to Kill. And because I think he ran into him before Alive was released.
Okay.
And he said, "Okay, well, if you're ever to a point where you're not satisfied with your records, give me a call." And he like gave him his business card, or just, you know, basically said, "Give me a call," in the sense of like, you know where to find me, or you know how to get a hold of me. And they both went on their merry way. And that always stuck with Paul a little bit. He was like, like it's just a weird type of like not confrontation, but like a run in to have with somebody where like a producer just doesn't really like talk to you much, or like ask you like, "Oh, how have you been?" or like, "What you been up to?" Where he just immediately says like, "Do you know, are you satisfied with your records, or are you happy with your records?" And I think that was Bob trying to challenge Paul a little bit, you know, to be like, "Let me know if you're ever at the point where you're not very satisfied, and I think I can help you out," you know, because he didn't want to, it's not like he was saying that the Kiss records weren't good.
Right.
He just wanted to work with, he always thought about working with Kiss, but just like in a different capacity, and wanted to do like take them in a different direction. So if they were happy with what they were doing, he wasn't going to bother them, you know?
Right.
But if they were ever at the point where they weren't happy with what they were doing, or wanted to go in a different direction, Bob was like, "Yeah, I would love to, you know, take this."
Which I think is interesting, considering because he's done 3 records with him.
Yes.
And all 3 records are entirely different.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. We've got, because he did Destroyer, The Elder, and Revenge.
Yep.
None of those records sound the same at all.
And I think that's a testament to how good of a producer Bob really is.
Yeah.
Even though he does kind of get shit for, you know, not saying a lot of people think he's a dick, but his techniques and his ways of doing things are just very different.
Right.
You know what I mean? Than what most people are. And we can actually talk a little bit about it, but like, I mean, the famed, you know, whistle that he would wear around his neck during these sessions, he would literally wear a whistle that he would blow to get, you know, Ace, Peter, Paul, and Gene to, you know, basically perk up and like attentive and all that different stuff. And he just like, he would blow a whistle if they were all like talking and stuff. And by the end of the sessions, he had blown the whistle so much that like they were like dogs.
Yeah,
you know?
they were conditioned into knowing like, oh, it's time to go.
Yeah, it's time to go. And they would like stop whatever they were doing, get their instruments, and go.
Yeah.
And there's that, like he would call them campers and take them to musical boot camp and stuff like that, because they weren't very well versed in music theory.
Right.
And so he taught them some basics of music theory.
And considering, I mean, they've already made 3 records at this point, and none of them really have any like real musical problems in them. So I can't imagine they didn't have some understanding, but I'm sure it was some understanding. It wasn't very complex.
Yeah, they knew what like I'm sure they knew what like
a 1, a 4, a 5,
a 4 and stuff like that. But I think like they had a little bit more difficulties knowing what a like an augmented seventh or a diminished, this diminished chord and all this different stuff.
Which is fair because I mean I barely know those two.
Exactly.
I get it.
I took a rudimentary music or some shit like that, rudiments of music, and it's like a basic music theory class at the community college here in town, and that's the only reason why I know any little bit of that stuff. Shout out to Simonson.
Love that man, dude.
But yeah, so it's not like they didn't know anything about music theory, but he just like would basically what it was. I think he came in with like a whiteboard and he was like, all right, so this song is going to go this, 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 and this. And they were all looking at him like, what?
None of them knew how to actually read.
Yeah,
music.
nobody knew how to read music for sure.
Yeah, because they were all, apparently they're all self-taught, which I mean is a huge underlying factor of why they deserve more respect.
Yes.
Because of look what they were able to accomplish by themselves.
Exactly. Good point that you brought up. I guess that's what I should have said is they didn't know how to read music. It's not that they didn't know music theory. They just didn't really know how to read music.
Right.
And so when he was trying to like, show them on the whiteboard, he was like, so you're going to go from this to this to that. They were all just like kind of dumbfounded. They were like, what are you talking about? And then he was like, okay, so this, and then he would like point to where they would play it on the guitar, and they were like, oh yeah, I know what that is.
Right.
And so they had to kind of like morph it into something that they did know.
Right.
So Bob he's a very technically sound musician. He's, he knows how to read music. He knows how to write music. He knows how to arrange, compose. And that is very evident on some of the songs on this album, which we'll get into. But yeah, so that's a little bit about Bob, and he's a really great guy. He's like I said, great producer, great engineer as well. And he had two assistants on this. He had Corky Stasiak and then Jay Messina, and I want to talk about them a little bit because I don't have much, but Jay actually went on to do a couple different Kiss albums, I believe. I think. I know he's passed away now, I think, but I can't remember exactly when he passed away. But he talks about these sessions and talks about how fun they were and how like the guys in Kiss were just some like crazy dudes and like, but they were always keeping it fun and stuff like that, studio antics. And then even with Bob is a well-known prankster and all this different stuff. And then like Corky Stasiak, his idol was Jay Messina, and this is the first album he gets to work with his idol in the audio engineering world. So that's a awesome,
right.
Little tidbit of information. And it's just awesome for him because I mean, talk about, wow, one of the first albums you get to work with like one of your idols on, and it's Destroyer by Kiss.
Right.
With Bob Ezrin as well. It's like, God damn. But yeah, just it's not just Kiss being awesome on this record, it's the whole team. And that's why I kind of wanted to say about that is Bob's awesome, Corky Stasiak's great, and then Jay Messina is awesome as well.
Yeah.
That's basically a little bit about the producer and the assistant engineers and a little bit about the recording process. I don't know. Do you guys have any information on recording process that you guys have? Or I know I was pretty much handling the load of that stuff this week because I've been listening to the Shout It Out Loud audiobook.
Yeah, I mean, you've been prepping for this record since we started the show pretty much.
Right.
So I mean,
yeah.
I know I'm going to mess this story up, so I'm a little hesitant to tell it, but I mean,
go ahead.
Fuck it, make myself look stupid anyway. It's the cat box where I guess Bob had like a box that he would beat if he felt Peter was getting off time.
Oh.
And it really like pissed Peter off.
Yes. Yep. Because drummers hate playing to a metronome, and but Bob wanted these takes to be really solid on how consistent they were in terms of beats per minute and everything like that. And actually, it's funny that you bring that up because I think even Bob said, or maybe Peter said in his book that whenever he was playing, he would just imagine that
Bob's face
was the drum head on his drum, so he would beat the hell out of him. And that's how you got those awesome drum tones on this record. Because, I mean, this album, if anything, has one of the best drum sounds of any 70s album.
Easily their best to this point.
Yes. Oh, for sure. For sure.
You actually get the bass drum a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
But
we finally found it, boys.
Yeah. I know that
too bad it leaves on Rock and Roll Over. It doesn't too bad. What were you saying, Bo?
But I know that I think in Ace's book he talks about how Bob really intimidated him during this process, and I think he said something about the guitar solo on Detroit Rock City isn't even him.
No, it's Sweet Pain.
Is it Sweet Pain?
Yeah,
because he didn't write the one for Detroit Rock City. He still played it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, he doesn't. That's what. Yes, you're right. He doesn't. He plays on it, but he didn't write it.
That makes more sense.
Because he mentions in No Regrets, like you were saying, like I wish I'd have written that guitar solo because it's fantastic.
Yeah, he even, I think he goes as far to mention like it's one of the most perfect guitar solos. Like everything about it is just like perfect in his ears, which is interesting because it's very different from what we hear Ace play. Like even though Ace has a lot of melodic soloing, it's usually very like kind of flashy, a little bit more fast.
Yeah.
I mean, with some exceptions here and there, like on Got to Choose and like Going Blind or something, you know,
right,
which is a little bit more slow and melodic and stuff like
and because he's kind of got this habit of taking these sort of like blues ideas and just speeding them up, which I mean, I like anyway. That's pretty much all rock and roll is.
Yeah, exactly.
But, you know, it is interesting to hear those sort of more like stripped back, not necessarily like simple, but just easy melodic.
Yeah,
you know, it's really interesting.
Exactly. This was actually the first guitar solo that I ever learned to play on a guitar, just because I love it so much. And I'm not saying it's simple to like discredit it at all. It's a phenomenal solo.
Oh yeah,
but it's simple enough for me to be able to play it because I can't play super fast. I'm a great rhythm player. I just can't play like super fast.
Yeah, this was the first guitar solo I learned wrong.
Really?
But because I mean, I learned it right after I started playing guitar. It's where I learned it is not at all correct.
Is it up on the 12th fret of the high E and the B?
No, where I learned it is like the 6th and 4th frets of the G, B, and E.
I think that's where I learned it. I learned it the correct way.
Right.
Maybe I learned it from a YouTube tutorial.
Every book I have has it notated there.
Yeah.
But if you watch them play it live, they play it up on the A and the D.
Yeah.
Up at
up towards the actual, up the neck of the guitar.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, I that's interesting because I noticed that too, which I mean technically you can play it anywhere as long as it's the right notes, you know. But
the main reason I said play it wrong is just because, like I said, you can see from videos of them playing it live, that's how they play it.
Right.
And then the videos from like Dodger Stadium in '98, where Ace kind of adds some more like leads into it, they're in that area of the neck.
Really?
And so
that makes sense.
I retaught myself how to play it from those videos.
That's awesome.
Because I wanted to learn those leads because they fit the song. They're super simple, but they sound really good.
Yeah. So yeah, that was a nice little. We got a little off track there.
A little bit. A good segue into the track list, I guess.
Right. Shit. Well, we still got to do the album artwork. Fuck. No.
Wow, we jumped the love gun on that one.
Whoops. God damn it.
Shit. Better rock and roll over to the album cover here.
God damn. All
Man,
right,
I can't wait for the pandemic to be over so we can be unmasked.
All right, we're done with the fucking puns. We had too many last week, god damn it.
Garrett's looking for his revenge. Our ringleader of the Psycho Circus here.
Oh, shit.
Or the Carnival of Souls, whichever
one you want.
They're both kind of a mess.
I like how those fucking albums are literally just like so close in terms of name. I'm like, what the fuck? All right, so I'm glad you brought up that point about Ace was intimidated because he definitely he talks about that in No Regrets a lot, and then he also, and even Bob talks about it. And Bob, he I'm not gonna sit here and say he feels bad because I don't want to like act like I know what he actually feels, but part of me does think that he felt bad because he wasn't trying to intimidate Ace. He always said like, I could just tell that he lacked the confidence in pressure, you know, and that's what really affected him.
Yeah. And
he didn't think that he was like too intimidating towards Ace or trying to like be a dick towards Ace or anything during these sessions, because this is where you kind of start to see the split or some cracks, I should say, between the band.
Yeah, especially being where Ace really gets into cocaine use.
Yeah. And it's sad. And speaking of cocaine, holy shit, this album, dude, this album could fucking supply enough cocaine for fucking years. I mean,
this album funded Pablo Escobar.
Literally, like, I mean, they talk, even Gene talks about it in his book, but there would just be mountains of cocaine everywhere, like piles of it, just either on the tables or on the mix. Yeah, literally on the mixing console, all that different shit. And this is where, because Peter had already kind of had an introduction to it back in the early 70s.
Yeah, which I guess Ace even said No Regrets, like, he got his coke from a dude Peter knew.
Mm-hmm. So Peter kind of like introduced Ace to it a little bit, and then obviously with everybody doing it in the studio, except for obviously Ace or not Ace, but Paul and Gene.
The other Paul.
Yeah. I always fuck that up sometimes. I'm like, wait, Paul, no shit.
Do you know, I'm going to leave that one for later. I don't need to get us even more off topic.
All right. But yeah, so mountains of fucking cocaine everywhere. And I guess Gene even talks about it in his book, and he says like, yeah, there was at one point where I went to put some sugar in my coffee, and I thought that whatever, like the cocaine that was on this little plate that was on a table was sugar. And I went to like put it in my coffee, and a dude like ran over and stopped me. He's like, whoa, you don't want to do that. That's not sugar. And so to kind of get back at them, Gene went and like would take a bunch of sugar and put it in their cocaine piles or like switch it out. And he says that they didn't notice, which, I mean, if that's a possibility that they couldn't have, but I feel like people who are really into coke know what coke, feels.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm going to be honest. I don't buy the story.
Yeah, I don't buy that either.
I'm going to say it a lot throughout the course of this podcast. I wasn't there. I don't know. I'm just going to give you my point of view on it.
Yeah.
That story seems fucking weird.
Yeah.
And because, like, I guess there's even a point where he's talking about the mirror that they had it on, where it was like mustache hair, where they would like pull it out of like the desk or whatever on a drawer. Yeah. And he looked at it and he's like, oh, well, that's stupid. You can't even see your face. And they're like, some of it is just so like cringy. I don't know that I can believe it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not saying it's not true.
Yeah.
But like, it just comes off weird.
Right. But yeah, so basically the prolonged cocaine use of this album, or on this album, is very, I'm not going to say sad to see, but it's just sad because this is where the cracks start to show, and it's because Ace really starts to miss a lot of these sessions.
Which also played into him being intimidated by Bob.
Yes, exactly. And I think he was just searching for anything that could make him feel a little bit more in the zone,
Right.
So, yeah. I don't know. I guess we could go ahead and talk about the album artwork. I don't want to meander too much about all the prior stuff, because I do want to get that, to the track listing, because that's going to be a fun one to break down. But
all 10 tracks.
Yeah. Fuck off, 9. We don't talk about Rock and Roll Party or whatever the fuck it's called. All right, so the album artwork, we'll be right back. Alrighty, let's get straight into the album artwork, guys. I'm going to just list off a couple of facts here, and then we'll actually break it down, and I want to get to what you guys like and dislike about it. So it was painted by Ken Kelly, and I think it was actually designed by someone else. It was like designed and then painted by 2 different people.
Oh, really?
That's what I thought, but maybe I'm thinking wrong, because I can't find anything on who designed it, but it says it was painted, or maybe it was like painted and designed by somebody, and then it was just like touched up by somebody else. Who knows?
Oh, that could be.
But yes, Ken Kelly, painted by him. The original version was rejected by the record company for being too violent. The original version had like a bunch of buildings like destroyed and on fire, and I want to say like it had more of a post-apocalyptic feel, to it, and the record company was like, no, we can't do this. I'm sorry, guys. The original version also had them wearing the Alive costumes, which we get to see that on the resurrected version of this album, which was released in 2012, which was basically a remix and remaster of the album from Bob. And what are your guys' thoughts of this album cover? I'll start with Beau.
I wish they would have kept the destroyed city on
really?
it. I mean, I like it as it is, and you can see some of the building, a couple.
Yeah, where it's more kind of like rubble as opposed to like actual like destroyed buildings and stuff.
Right.
But them in the foreground, like with the city there, it looks nice.
Yeah.
The costumes are awesome.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But yeah, it's a really great album cover.
Yeah, and actually, I kind of, looking at this one and looking at the other one from the resurrected version, I actually like this one a little bit better because I do like how it's a little bit more atmospheric, I guess you could say, compared to like a bunch of destroyed buildings and stuff like that, because it puts more focus on them.
Right. Which I also think helps this one in it's a little crisper than their designs on the other one.
Right.
Which also I just want to point out real quick on Paul's right leg. What the fuck is that?
Yeah, it looks like a smidge or smudge or something. Maybe it's just on my...
I don't think it is.
Really?
Yeah. For some reason, Paul's fucking right ankle is a Force Ghost.
Yeah.
But
Force Ghost.
But speaking of the resurrected cover, I think in the original recording, didn't I say that they looked like dolls standing there?
Yeah, I think so.
Like I'm
I
looking
don't
at
disagree.
it.
Oh, you're talking about the original artwork?
Yeah, the
Yeah,
one they
'cause,
used
like,
on the resurrected.
Especially Peter looks
Yeah.
like a freaking
Like,
Hasbro doll.
And what the
Yeah.
fuck did they do with Ace's face there? I don't even need to see it to remember it looks fucking stupid. Like, don't get me wrong, I like that artwork.
Right.
This one's way crisper, and I think that's
Yes.
part of the reason I lean to it more.
Yeah. And the new costumes. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
I do want to talk about the new costumes. Dude, I mean, come on. These are my favorite costumes. And I cuz it used to be Love Gun for me, at least for Ace. But man, like Jean's fucking battle armor,
Yeah.
Ace's like spacesuit practically. Peter has like this jungle aura cat, obviously that's his persona, but the I don't know, he just looks like a superhero, almost like a Black Panther type,
I was going to say
what I
the
was
same
gonna
thing.
say?
Yeah.
And I really like his boots. It's a shame that obviously you can't really wear them on stage
Right,
when he's
yeah.
drumming, and then Paul's just looks awesome because it's all bedazzled.
Yeah.
and
Yeah. I
stuff
mean,
like that.
it catches the eye, but he's supposed to catch your eye,
One thing that I thought was interesting is all of their costumes throughout their entire history, basically, all are like point to the crotch in some way or another. So like Paul's has all those jewels right at his crotch.
All four of them do
Yes.
on this one. I've never
Peter's
thought about that.
arrow points at his crotch. Ace's like, thing
Meets
points
at
at
the
his,
waist point,
and then
yeah.
Jean has like
A
the
giant
studded-
cod piece. Yeah.
And that's also true for the I want to say Alive. No, not the Alive costumes, because Ace doesn't have one like
He's got
that.
the lightning bolts, though.
Yeah, he does have the lightning bolts. But Jean and Paul for sure have a lot of stuff to do with like pointing the crotch.
Yeah, I wonder if that's intentional or a
Yes.
happy accident. You know
No,
what I mean?
I think it's definitely intentional because they're trying to be like, oh, we're
Right.
rock stars. Look at our,
You like my 7-inch leather heels.
Yes. So, but I love these costumes in general. I don't really care for Ace's boots. I don't like those boots as much, but they do kind of give that astronaut feel type thing. You know what I mean? Or space suit feel.
Yeah. And
what-
while we're talking about the boots, those easily are my favorite boots in the band jeans on this
Oh,
record.
yeah.
Because I like the
Yes.
dragon ones on Love Gun.
Uh-huh.
The ones with the scales, though,
Yes.
they're just
They're badass, man.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't this the one that was at the Kiss Coffee House in Myrtle Beach?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I
yeah,
thought.
it was these costumes. I don't know if it was specifically this set from Destroyer or if it was
Yeah.
the ones they used for the Psycho Circus tour.
Yeah.
But it was one of the sets because, of course, they had enhanced versions of these costumes for the Psycho Circus
Right.
tour.
Oh, you're talking about the actual ones that were inside, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm talking about the big boot that was on the outside that we have the picture with. Was it this one?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought. We have a picture of Tyler and I down in Myrtle Beach at the Kiss Coffee House, rest in peace.
In like 2009.
Yeah, 2009. And they had, for the corners of the buildings, for the corners of the singular building, they had Paul's boot and Gene's boot. And Gene's was from Detroit Rock City. I don't know if Paul's was from Detroit Rock City. Destroyer, Jesus.
I don't remember. I'll actually look that up later.
But we got a picture, and what was cool was like they had smoke machines in the nostrils of the big giant Gene boot, and it would like spew out like fog to like make it seem like, you know,
it was I'm also pretty sure that they had lights behind the gems they put in the eyes so that it would glow at night.
Yes, yeah. But these costumes are just awesome overall. What do you think, Beau?
Well, these are the costumes everyone goes to dress up as these guys.
Oh yeah,
so
definitely
they're hands down probably the most popular, but they're also one of the coolest.
Yes, for sure. I mean, there's a reason why they're popular. They're just solid.
Actually, we were wrong.
What?
It is Gene and Paul's Love Gun boots. It's not.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Well, fuck me.
Yeah, let me get that. Yeah.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
But it still has the dragon. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, because the one from Love Gun has the same dragon like base as the foot, and then it's just got a different legging piece to it. But
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because I knew the Paul one had stars on it. That's why I was like, I know it's not the Destroyer one. So they're the Love Gun ones, but nonetheless, the dragon part of it is pretty similar.
Man, I wish that place was still open. I'd love to go back.
Right.
I've never been, so
it was really cool. I guess we could go ahead and just get into the overall rating of this. What do you what do you think, Ty? What would you give this out of 10?
You know, the quote unquote original version, the one that came out with them in these costumes, you know.
Yes.
I'm going to give it a 10. It's such an iconic image of theirs, and it helps that it's their first big breakthrough record.
Yeah.
That it has to be one that comes to mind when you think it.
And I think we even talked about this a little bit, is that whenever you see like a mainstream shop with a Kiss shirt in it, it's usually
Destroyer.
The Destroyer, like not necessarily that it says Destroyer, but you know, their poses and stuff like that. So, what about you, Beau?
I think if they would have kept the destroyed city in it and not put like the flames to where it's covered up, this album cover would have got a 10 from me.
Really?
But I'm gonna have to give it a 9.
Okay.
I really do love this cover, and it's one of my favorites. But
I was gonna say 9 out of 10 is still phenomenal. I'm gonna have to give it a 10 as well. It's just too iconic for me not to give it a 10, and I really enjoy it a lot, especially with the new costumes and the colors of it. I love the colors. I love how it goes from like that dark, like violet-ish blue to like a little bit more of a purple.
Yeah, that's another thing I really prefer of the quote unquote original over the version we get from the Resurrected album cover.
Right. And I think the way they have it, where like how Kiss is colored, like the Kiss logo is colored as well, it just makes it pop so much, and I love that. And yeah, the costumes, I like that they're like leaping off the rubble instead of just like floating on the Resurrected cover.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they are superheroes.
Yeah, true.
Still, it's kind of fucking weird.
Yeah. I don't really have anything else much to say about the album artwork. You guys got anything?
I think I'm covered.
Cool. You, Beau?
I think I'm good.
All right. Well, all right. With that being said, we're going to go ahead and break down the track listing. We'll be right back.
All right. Listen. Cool down for a minute, because we won't get this place smoking And we need everybody's help. That means you too.
Alrighty, welcome back, everybody. We're gonna break down the track list. Got track number 1, Detroit Rock City, written by Paul Stanley and Bob Ezrin. Wow. What a fucking song. Probably the best opening song on any Kiss album, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'd find it hard to argue that.
I mean, you could maybe make the case for does I Stole Your Love?
Yep.
Open up.
Yeah,
Love Gun?
I was gonna say it. These three, like this one and the next two, all start real.
Wait, what's
strong.
Rock and Roll Over? Oh, I want you. Yeah. Wow. I mean, just a kick-ass opener of a song, and I love the energy, especially with the drums in this song. I don't know. I mean, what do you guys got anything you want to say about it?
Other than it's a really fantastic song. I don't really like the opening part of it. I get what they were saying, going for.
Definitely.
Because it's basically about a fan going to a Kiss show.
Yep.
I think if they shortened it to where like he's getting in the car, he's like, "Hey, I'm about to leave for the show."
Yeah.
And then gets in the car.
Right.
And when he starts the car up, that's when the song starts.
Yeah.
Right. No, I entirely agree. It's a minute and a half.
Right.
I don't know that it needs to be that long.
Yeah, if they knocked it down to like 30 seconds. But then again, I understand they were trying to go with more of a not a concept album, but like a very cohesive album that tells a little bit of a story throughout it of like youth and all that different stuff. But I understand what they were trying to go for, but I do agree it kind of carries on a little bit too long. But on the other end, to play devil's advocate, it definitely sets like a mood. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It gives it an atmosphere, which I really like. And I do like how the like that opening riff is like it gradually increases in volume.
Yeah.
And then when the comes in, it hits.
Yeah, I really like that too.
So that's I guess a positive out of it, but I'm glad you did bring up that because I completely forgot. I was just immediately thinking of the
Yeah.
What about you, Ty? I mean, any information on this track that you want to say or that you can think of?
No, I want to say that I remember hearing they recorded all the like intro bit actually at like the record plant.
Oh, really?
And then I mean, that's pretty much all the info I have on it. Besides, I want to say that they recorded the guitar solo in like an empty elevator shaft.
Really?
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me, honestly, because there's a lot of reverb on the guitar track, especially during the solo. And I know we talked about the solo earlier a little bit, and how Ace didn't write it, but he played it and whatnot. Bob actually wrote it on a piano.
Yeah.
And then he pulled the guys around him and was like, "This is what I want to do. It's going to go here, here to here." And one thing that makes this solo so good is that while this song has a lot of energy, the solo kind of brings that energy down a little bit and makes it have this like foreboding sound to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, a little bit.
Which is what he wanted to do. And the reason why this solo works so well with this song is because the song is telling a story of this fan going to, a concert, a Kiss concert. It's got some foreboding to it because something's going to happen just by the lyrics, how it's building up, moving fast down 95, hit top speed, but I'm still moving much too slow. Like, that something's going to go wrong.
Right.
And I just think that this solo is perfect for this song, and shout out to Bob Ezrin for that. Cause I mean, it gives me goosebumps even to this day when I hear it. When I hear this solo, it's chills because you're like, oh wow, like something's happening, I don't know. Anything else you guys want to say about it?
He had the, like you said, the guitar solo forebodes it. Cause like towards the end of the song, he's like, I know I'm not going to make it to this show.
Yeah.
And then it ultimately ends with that crash.
Yeah, exactly. Nice little segue because that crash literally just goes straight into track number 2, King of the Nighttime World. And then it's basically just this like feedback guitar that's ringing that single note, and then all of a sudden the drums come in and it just sounds like a fucking freight train coming at you. I actually used to not like King of the Nighttime World.
Yeah.
But dude, now I fucking love this song. It is so good.
Which I find for me is a repeating occurrence with this record specifically, but a lot of Kiss songs I find as I go back to them as I get older, I like them more.
Right.
This record in general is one where that's a constant.
Yes, definitely. Agreed. This song, King of the Nighttime World, was written by Paul Stanley, Kim Fowley, Bob Ezrin, and Mark Anthony. And the reason why those other two oddball names are in there is because this was actually a song that was written by, I want to say like Mark Anthony's band or something like that, for like a production. I can't remember what it was. I'm probably butchering.
I want to say it was a stage show, wasn't it?
It was like a stage show or like a movie of some sort, and it was basically a scene where the guy is getting roadhead.
Roadhead.
Yeah. And that's what like those lyrics of, King of the Nighttime World and You're My Headlight Queen. I guess the deal with that fell through or some shit. And Bob and Mark had actually talked like years before it fell through, and or not years, but before the whole deal fell through, and he was like, listen, if you still have this song and it doesn't get released or doesn't get recorded with this band that you're in now, bring that shit over to me.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happened. And that's probably the greatest thing that they had ever done, was because they made more money recording it with Kiss than they ever would have made in the entirety of that other band,
Yeah.
But so that's where some of the lyrics come through. And then obviously they edited some lyrics, did a little bit of restructuring of the song and whatnot, and actual, chord changes and everything like that. So just an awesome song.
Oh yeah.
Has an anthemy solo to it, the
which I was going to bring up, just a fun little tidbit. When we were younger, Garrett and I used to a cappella harmonize the guitar solo to this song to annoy Beau.
We would like do it, but we would over exaggerate the fuck out of it.
Oh yeah. And I still think it's weird how we managed to do it, because we still somehow harmonized, even though we were being obnoxious about it.
Yes, literally.
Used to piss Beau off all the time.
I'm surprised Beau still likes this song.
This song, it's that driving drum beat.
Oh yeah,
when it comes in,
so good.
And then that, you guys really annoyed me with that guitar solo. I'm not gonna lie, I do still love this song, and I will always love this song.
Really good vocal performance from Paul as well. Very consistent with Detroit Rock City, and I think this is his most consistent vocal performance. And it's really starting not this certain song, but the overall album,
right?
And this is the album where you really start to hear his voice mature a little bit.
Yeah, and because you can kind of get hints of it earlier, but this is definitely where he's kind of stepping more into his own.
Yes, exactly. And because honestly, there's sometimes where I listen to this, like I listen back to this and I'm like, is that even Paul singing? I'm like, wait, what the fuck? And I think it's just him with a bunch of different takes layered on top. All right, let's go to track number 3, written by Gene. No, just kidding. Paul Stanley, which everybody, I used to think it was a Gene song, obviously, because Gene sings it. But no, it was written by Paul Stanley. And if you want to talk a little bit about that, I know you kind of know some details.
And because, of course, I'm going to use Spotify as the reference because I do own the box set, but it's just easier to use Spotify. You can actually hear the original demo version of this song from the big ass box set on Spotify.
Yes.
With Paul doing the vocals. And it's a slightly less distorted guitar riff. It's faster pace.
To me, it sounds like a fucking disco song almost. You know what I mean? The drums, because it's super hi-hat heavy.
Yeah. And because the drum rhythm is not at all the same.
Yeah.
And it's another case of where you can hear it, you can identify that it is similar, but because of how it changes, it's not the same. It's like hearing Bad Bad Lovin' and then hearing Dr. Love.
Yeah.
Where you can tell what it is.
Right.
But because of how it changes, it's not the same anymore.
Yeah. It uses the same bass, like chords and stuff like that. And melodies, but it's just so different tonally and sonically that you're like, whoa, this is completely different.
Yeah, and they did change some of the lyrics to fit Gene better.
Yeah, what were one of those? It was like the women or something?
I was raised by the women, trained for pleasure and fun, which I'm pretty sure it's also, because I can't actually tell if that's what he's saying or not, but the daughter of Aphrodite line, I'm pretty sure he says we make love till we bleed.
Yeah, I think it's something like that.
I hear that and it just makes me kind of cringe a little bit because I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Right. So yeah, basically Bob heard this song and immediately thought of Gene, and he was like, you know what, Gene needs to sing this song. And Paul was actually a little bit hesitant at first. He was like, no, like, I wrote this song, this is my baby, I want it.
Right.
And Bob was like, listen, like, we're all gonna have to make some sacrifices on this album, and I'm telling you, like, this song is meant for Gene. When you look at Gene, you look at him as the demon, the powerhouse, the overall brute of Kiss. And if a song is going to be called God of Thunder, it's got to be, it's got to be him. Like, people are going to look at him and be like, yeah, that's him. And so they slowed it down. They put a lot more drum work into it. Just overall heavier feel on all instruments. Paul eventually was like, you know what? You guys are right. This definitely sounds like more of a Gene song. And I want to say that, like, I don't know if it's this song, but I know this has happened in the past where Paul was like, oh, well, I can write a Gene song, and would write a Gene song. And I feel like this is one of those. And like, he was trying to like not make fun of him, like to be a dick, but just, having some fun.
Right.
And he was like, yeah, this is my Gene song type thing. And so then that's why Bob was like, well, fine, we're going to have fucking Gene sing it because he needs to.
Right.
And then Paul was a little bit butthurt or something. Maybe it wasn't this song, but I feel like it was.
I feel like if there was ever one where he was trying to like poke fun at Gene and write a Gene song, it'd have to be Take Me.
Oh, yeah,
for sure. Because that one's just so overtly cringy. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But I do love on it, because that's one thing that really complements the resurrected version of this album is the restructuring that Bob did on the bass and the drums.
Oh, yeah.
Because the interplay between the bass and the drums on this song has always been good.
Yeah.
The way that he overhauled the record for the resurrected version is superb.
Yes. It's the bass and the kick drums and everything. And like just the low end on the resurrected version is so much better on all instruments. And I do want to talk about the guitar solo of this because it's not Ace. It's not. It's actually Dick Wagner. And I always kind of thought, because I hate the guitar solo on this song because you can't hear half of it, or it's meandering. And I want to say like Bob has even come out and said like Dick Wagner, who is a session guitarist. I guess we haven't really talked about him yet, but he's a session guitarist, and he was called in on a couple of different songs because Ace was nowhere to be found during some of the recordings of this because drugs, partying, beer, friends, whatever.
And then just general pressure from Bob.
Yeah, general pressure from Bob. Exactly. Basically he called in Dick Wagner, who did stuff with like Aerosmith and Alice Cooper and stuff like that, recorded a bunch of stuff for them in the studio. Called him in, and Dick remembers playing on 4 songs, and one of them for sure is Sweet Pain. And then he always had trouble with the other 3, but they came to basically Great Expectations, Beth, which both of those make sense because those are more Bob Ezrin.
Yeah. And and because Dick is the one doing the acoustic guitar on those songs.
And then God of Thunder was the last song that they mentioned. And it makes sense because I feel like Ace would have just ripped a crazy solo on this song. You know what I mean? And you just kind of get this meandering, atmospheric, like lens to the overall story of the song instead of having a really good, not saying that it's a bad guitar solo. It's just there's not much of a guitar solo.
It helps that, like you said, you can barely hear the damn thing.
Yeah.
If you could hear it more, maybe it'd be passable as, oh, maybe that was Ace.
Yeah.
But I mean, you can't hear the fucking thing.
It just sounds experimental, really. And so, yeah, that's Dick playing on this, which on the live versions of the song, it has one of my favorite guitar solos ever. And Ace kind of borrows some stuff from the original guitar solo, but then adds his own Ace to it,
Yeah.
Or Aceify it, as he calls it. And so, yeah, that's God of Thunder. I mean, you guys got any other things you want to add or no?
You got nothing about the drums? I feel you. I mean, for the most part, I love the song. I feel like it's kind of hurt by the production of the original version where the guitar solo just doesn't come through as much.
Yeah, to say the least. All right, we'll go ahead and move on to track number 4, Great Expectations. I don't want to spend too much time on this, but it is written by Gene Simmons and Bob Ezrin, and what the fuck are these lyrics?
Well, Gene Simmons wrote it, so there you go.
Literally. I was gonna say we gotta wait till Sweet Pain for that size. Yeah, I it's weird because I like this song more that I listen to it now. I still just the lyrics are goofy. Don't get me wrong, but the musicality of this song I think is phenomenal.
Oh yeah,
but it's just not a Kiss song. It doesn't sound like Kiss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and you even said yourself last time we were talking about this that it was like Bob's ode to Beethoven.
Yeah, and it says right here, the song Great Expectations uses the first phrase of the main theme from the second movement of Beethoven's Piano Sonata number 8 in C minor, Op 13. So basically, I think the first 4 measures or first couple of bars of the song is literally just ripped from a Beethoven song. So yeah, this is basically his ode to Beethoven. He obviously has his little flares here and there to make it, not Beethoven.
Right.
And then obviously if you have Gene Simmens singing cringy ass lyrics on it, then
where Bob was making an ode to Beethoven, Gene was making an ode to groupies.
Yes.
I mean, which there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Fuck whoever you want to fuck as long as they're consenting. Whatever. But like, dude, can you make it a little less cringy, please?
Right. At least it's not Ladies in Waiting.
Fuck that song.
All right. So yeah, that's that song. Nothing much about
I will
it.
say though, if you take away the lyrics and you just listen to the musical part, the song is phenomenal.
It's not a bad song. It's just, especially knowing the version of it that I always think of in my brain about this song.
Oh god.
Which we'll get to in about 20 albums.
Yeah.
Good fucking Lord.
We'll go ahead and just say it. The fact that they had a fucking children's choir singing this song at Kiss Symphony, come on.
Whose fucking bright idea was that?
On the original version of this song, it is a women's group doing the chorus.
Right.
And yeah, I don't know why they decided to go with a children's group.
Yeah. Oh,
for
hey,
Kiss Symphony.
let's talk about what my mouth can do in front of these fucking 12-year-olds.
Yeah.
Hey, what that mouth do?
Oh my god, man.
Why?
It was
Whose fucking good idea was that?
whoever thought of the idea and then whoever thought it was a good idea to do it and let it pass through.
They had great expectations for that show and it fucking went wrong. It did not go well because I'm sorry, I will make fun of the fact that they had kids sing the choir to this song for the rest of my fucking life.
Right. Oh god, man, just sad. But with that being said, we're gonna move on to track number 5, Flaming Youth, written by Ace Frehley, Paul Stanley, Gene Simmons, and Bob Ezrin. Which is really interesting because the reason why it has all 4 of them is because they all have a certain part in this song that they wrote in a sense. So Paul, obviously lyrics. Gene has, is it the Mad Dog that you were telling me?
Yeah. Cause from the box set again, they have a demo song in there called Mad Dog. Mm-hmm. And the main riff to the song is the post chorus riff in this song. So I'm assuming that was Gene's contribution because I'm pretty sure he wrote Mad Dog.
Yeah, that makes sense. And then obviously Ace Frehley wrote the intro riff or the main riff.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
And Bob Ezrin actually helped a little bit on that. So it's good to see that they have something that they worked on together. But yeah, so I like this song a lot more than I used to.
Yep, it's another one that I really appreciate more as an adult.
It's a really good, and it caters to that theme of youth on this entire album, of just being young and being energetic and having the whole, your whole life in front of you and the whole world to go out and take over and stuff like that.
Yeah, and then it also has like first verse also has like your parents don't quite understand where you guys are coming from.
They
like,
think I'm stupid and I'm lazy if they only knew. Yeah, it's definitely like a battle cry in a sense for the youth against, fuck old people.
Yeah. Fuck the man.
Yeah, exactly.
Which, I mean, still, fuck the man.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, I don't really have anything else to say about this. It's just it's a fun song. It really is. And I like it a lot more now.
Yeah,
so.
It's one that going back to, I'm not going to be mad I'm listening to.
Right.
As opposed to, if this had been 4 years ago, I'd have probably just said, fuck this. I don't want to listen to it.
Right. All right, track number 6, Sweet Pain, written by Gene Simmons. All right, well, what tied to this reference there is the fact that at the very beginning of this song, you just hear this long, like, sigh for, like, I don't know if it's a fucking orgasm.
No, that's what I think it's supposed to be, like, him
coming.
Yeah, but it sounds like the most unsatisfying nut I've ever heard in my life.
Oh, yeah.
Like, if that was,
So slow,
like, if I had
like,
sex and that was my orgasm, I'd probably cry after.
Right.
Like, Jesus Christ, I just wasted my time for that.
Oh,
Fuck.
man. And just, it's funny because as much as I hate this song, I always find myself singing the chorus. It's like it's one of those songs that you just can't get out of your head.
You guys got me starting to sing it now. Thanks.
Yeah.
Hey, we're getting Beau into BDSM now.
Yeah. So this song is literally just about BDSM. And that's the thing is it's like, I don't even think the lyrics are awful. I just don't like the chorus, and the music, not a huge fan. I actually like the verses a little bit better. The verse riff, the
Yeah,
like,
no, I like
it's
that
fun,
too.
but I don't know, the chorus of it just takes me out of it.
Yeah, I think I mentioned this to you a couple weeks ago when we were talking about the song for the first time. For whatever reason, what they did with that intro riff, which is that's the chorus riff too, right?
Yeah.
It makes me think of fucking Dude Looks Like a Lady.
Yeah, the banana.
It sounds so weird.
I think it's just how percussive the strings are, because I think they used a little bit of the 12-string guitar.
Yeah, and they used an
track.
electric one too,
Yeah.
so it sounds a little chunkier.
Yeah, exactly. And it just it punches through the mix a little bit better, which gives it that kind of stuttery vibe.
Yeah.
Not strutter, but stuttering.
Stutter.
Yeah, I was gonna say it sounded like I said strutter.
Ruin any Kiss song by changing one letter.
Right. Yeah, I don't have anything else to say. Oh, well, I do have something to say. The guitar solo on this was done by Dick Wagner again, and they actually do have a version with Ace's guitar solo on it, which I don't know why they left off of the album.
Because it's not even like the solos are that different.
Yeah, they're really not. It's like Ace is just a little bit more flashy and like in a very small part. Like I want to say like a second or two where he just does a little bit more hammers or some shit. I don't get it.
I prefer Ace's solo.
Yeah,
honestly.
so do I. And for those that don't know, or I'm sure if you're listening, you probably do know, Ace's version is on the Resurrected album. So I just, it irritates me because, like, I guess the story is that Ace thought he did well, but Bob just didn't think that it was up to par or wasn't getting that sound that he wanted to. And so he told Ace, all right, like, whatever, just take a break. And Ace basically took that as, okay, he's telling me to take a break, or no, Ace said, he was like, well, just take a break or I'll re-record it tomorrow or something. The next day comes, Ace doesn't show up because God knows what. And Bob calls in Dick, and that's where he comes in and plays the solo on Sweet Pain. And he even tells him, like, you need to play it more like Ace. And it's like, dude, you have a guitar solo right there by Ace that's not incredibly different from this. Why not just use it, And I guess he had Dick play it and he liked Dick's version better, and that one ended up on the final version of the album. And what's interesting is there's like a story of Ace going absolutely apeshit in the control room when they were doing the listening party for the album, because he didn't realize that he was listening to it and he's like, That's not my take. That's Dick's. That's somebody else's. He didn't realize that Dick's was going to be on the, final version of the album. And then there's some other people who are like, no, he knew it before then, and he just wanted to cause a scene or something like that. But still, I mean, come on now. Like, it's not that different. And that's what blows my mind.
Yeah.
Is it's like, yeah, if like Ace was over here just shredding fucking, balls, just going at it, like, why? I could understand if you were like, no, I want something a little bit more gentle, a little bit more, subdued, but it's like very identical. So I don't know. All right. Track number 7, Shout It Out Loud, written by Paul Stanley, Gene Simmons, and Bob Ezrin. And once again, Paul and Gene don't have a miss. This song is fucking awesome. If you guys want to talk about it.
Another one where we come back to it and 15 years later, I like it a lot more.
Yeah.
This, I think, other than if you want to throw Let Me Go Rock and Roll in that camp, this is probably like one of my favorite anthem songs from them.
Yes.
Like if I went and saw them and they closed out with this, I wouldn't be mad.
Right.
I know I said I really hated Rock and Roll All Night because it's so overplayed. Shout It Out Loud is really overplayed too. Difference is, I like this song. I really do.
Yeah.
I like the drums on this song.
Okay. I do like them too. They're very upbeat. And I mean the whole song is upbeat. I like the bass in this song. It's so loud and it's really punchy and just a solid bass work from Gene on this one. And
I really like the descending riff on it right at the beginning.
Boom, 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 boom. Because I always play that on the guitar.
Oh,
whenever I play, I'm always like, gotta play it.
Oh yeah.
And then I don't know if this solo was written by Ace or if it was written by Bob. I know Ace played it, but this has a little bit more Ace flair to it, and that's why I really like this song. Obviously staying true to the whole youth theme again, basically saying, fuck what you heard, I'm going to do whatever I want. And I don't know. The lyrics are really cool. I think, you know what I'm saying? Where it literally even says, God, I'm going blank.
I am too. And that's the annoying thing is I just had it a minute ago because I was going to bring it up of like, the youth theme. And now I can't draw it.
It doesn't matter what you do or say. Just forget the things that you've been told.
That's the part I already had in my brain. I was trying to think of the
God, what is it?
It's the too loud line, but I can't think.
Don't let them tell.
Don't let them tell you that there's too much noise. They're too old to really understand. That's what it is.
So it's just a very straight to the point song.
Apparently, I'd be Gene Simmons. I'd just forget the lyrics.
Yeah, right. But fucking awesome song. I love this song so much. And like I said, Paul and Gene don't really have a miss yet. They will definitely have some misses pretty soon, but
a lot of the misses in their history, though, are kind of down the road where they're not writing together.
Yes, pretty much. All right. Let's see here. Track number 8, Beth, also known as Tyler's favorite song.
I don't hate this song. I just, it's one I'm tired of hearing.
Yeah, I definitely.
We all know this is your top Kiss song of all time.
No, I can appreciate it. It's just not a Kiss song.
It really technically isn't.
And because I do actually want to bring up real quick since we just moved on to it while I'm thinking about it.
Uh-huh.
And because you did mention, of course, like Bob has a lot to do with like the piano and the orchestration on this album.
Yes.
And Paul, I guess, has said before, like, oh, I don't think Peter wrote Beth because if you can write one hit, you can write another.
Yeah.
Which is not a good line of logic there. But I think a lot of Beth's success comes from Bob.
Yes, it
because,
really does.
I mean, if you take away the orchestration to the song, I don't think it succeeds the way it did.
No, not at all. Don't get me wrong. I love Peter's voice, and his voice is perfect for this song. But this song was written by Peter Criss, Stan Penridge, who was part of Chelsea, I believe, a band that Peter was in back before he joined Kiss, and Bob Ezrin. So this song actually, like, it was, the original title was called Beck because of the bandmate that he had, like a,
I want to say it was Stan.
Was it Stan?
I think
his,
so.
like,
I could be wrong about that, but I'm
Becky.
pretty sure it was Stan.
I was gonna say it was Stan's like girlfriend Becky, or whoever it was. Her name was Becky. And so they shortened it to Beck. And it was actually like they wrote it as kind of like a funny song, like just to antagonize, you know?
Yeah, it was meant to be more like take the piss as opposed to, you know, actually like
song.
Yeah.
And basically, I guess Peter kind of brought it forth, and Bob was like, holy shit, this is perfect for this album, because one of his main goals with this album was not to knock them off the pedestal of being like the superhero, but make them a little bit more relatable so that they can open up different alleyways to different like audiences.
Right.
And so Beth he was like, oh, this is perfect. And so he took the song and they rewrote some of the lyrics and changed the name from Beck to Beth, because they didn't want to have people confused with Jeff Beck, you know, famed guitar player. And lo and behold, it becomes one of the biggest hits Kiss ever released, if not the biggest hit. I think it is technically the biggest hit. It even won like a People's Choice Award or something like that.
Shit.
Yeah. For best song or something like that. And yeah, I mean, the instrumental to this track is beautiful. It actually doesn't repeat a single chord throughout the entire verses, which I thought was really interesting, and Bob did that on purpose. But yeah,
that's actually one thing I do want to mention, because of course we were making the joke, I don't like this song, which I don't dislike it.
Yeah.
I'm just tired of hearing it.
Same.
It has something that deserves a huge amount of praise, which I'm assuming is something Bob did.
Mm-hmm.
This song, if you play music, you can really learn something about resolution from the song.
Oh, yeah.
The resolution of the song is absolutely incredible.
It really is.
And it's a redeeming quality for me for this song, because I'm tired of hearing it. You know, that ending is beautiful.
Right. Yeah. This, especially when it goes into that very last verse, or not verse, but refrain, whatever you want to call it, chorus from Peter, where it's just him and the piano.
Yeah.
And then it, like at the very end, it kind of brings back in the strings a little bit more and stuff. But it's a beautiful song overall. But I can agree that it does get a little bit overplayed.
Yeah. Thank you, Houston. He meant Dallas.
Oh my God, man. Was that from the 76 tour?
No, that was a reunion.
What? Oh, that was a reunion? Oh, God, yeah. Dude. Jesus, the drugs took a toll.
Yeah, for anyone who doesn't know that story, which it's a fun one, you can find it on YouTube. It's Peter. They're playing the song, and at the end of it, of course, Peter always says, like, thank you wherever the fuck we're at.
Yeah.
And, you know, which I think, like, specifically in New York, if they're playing the Garden, he would say, you know, thank you, Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
And so he gets up to give his farewell or whatever. And he says, oh, thank you, Houston. But they're in Dallas, Texas. They're not in Houston. And so Paul comes out and he has to save him. And he goes, he meant Dallas.
Because they start booing, dude. Oh, yeah. They were pissed.
He meant Dallas.
Oh, God damn it.
Which that's something I'm surprised doesn't happen more. You know, when bands always make the like, oh, come on, Chicago, which I hate. I go to shows all the time and I'm like, I get it's one of the suburbs. It's not technically Chicago.
Yeah, right.
And like, I'm not even from Chicago, Indian. So I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
But, you know, if they're like, yeah, come on, Chicago. And I'm like, this is Tenley Park.
Yeah. Right. No, I definitely... I get what you're saying.
Yeah, and no, because they did it last time when we all saw them in Noblesville, and they're like, Indianapolis. I'm like, it's technically Noblesville.
Yeah. Man.
I'm usually just too involved in the music to even notice.
It makes me laugh. But
like I know Slipknot's done it a couple times up at Tinley Park, and I'm just having too much fun.
Yeah.
So
I mean, they're generalizing because it's one of the suburbs. Right. I get it. I just think it's funny.
I guess we can go move on to track number 9, Do You Love Me, written by Paul Stanley, and I think it's Kim Fowley from earlier, and Bob Ezrin. And this song was also one that was kind of already written, and then Paul came in and kind of redid some of the lyrics. A little bit of instrumentation was changed and stuff like that by Bob. And I love this song.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, I used to just not like it because I was like, Yeah, it's a little bit too pop for me. I fucking love this song now, dude.
I even sitting here thinking about going into this song. I hear the drum riff. But I hear Paul from Symphony going, Peter's going to start this one.
Yep. Yep.
You know, it just, which is another praise for Resurrected. The snare drum on the Resurrected version of the song sounds entirely different.
Does it really?
Oh, yeah. Damn. It's got way more pop to it.
Oh, damn.
But
I'll have to go and check that out again.
But I love this song. I agree with you 100%. I never really disliked it. I just like it more now.
Right. And I like it because it's got a little substance to it. It really does. Because Paul, you know, when he's writing the lyrics, he's talking about like, you say you love me, but do you just love me for my materialistic things that I own and all this different stuff? Like, do you actually love me type thing? And I feel like that's something that a lot of, you know, rock and roll guys, and not even just rock and roll guys, but any type of superstar in any, you know, entertainment field has to deal with. You know, do you actually love me or do you love the things that I have?
Right.
So I think the subject matter is just awesome. Yeah, but the music to this is so fun. Like,
oh yeah.
And especially when they play it with on the Live 4 with the symphony.
Yeah. Which it's one thing that's always kind of like not really irked me, but I've just never like gotten the choice for it.
What's up?
The way they put like the effect on his voice for the backstage pass and Black
on the
Sun
album version. Yeah.
Why?
That's
just,
one thing that does.
It comes off weird.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I mean, I love the song.
Yeah.
It's got one of my favorite innuendos, which of course I've already made the joke about. But
the 7-inch leather heels.
Yeah, you like my 7-inch leather heel. It just, I want them to drag that out forever, just so it continues
just
to imply
the entire song.
Yeah, that's it. Go home.
You got anything on this?
Well, I was gonna talk about the lyrics, but you kind of already did that. But yeah, I like it. Those lyrics are great. Like, do you actually love me?
Yeah,
it's a great one. But do those drums hit so hard too?
Oh, they do.
And then just the guitar work on here too is great too.
I do like the boom boom.
Yeah.
Like
it's so good.
This song, I feel like this song doesn't need like an over the top guitar solo or something.
Not at all.
It's just simple, and that's what makes it more effective to me.
Yeah. And I mean, honestly, on the whole album, there's not really an over the top guitar solo.
No.
And that obviously shows the whole, you know, Ace being a little bit intimidated, a little bit pressure on him and stuff like that. But also Bob was very instrumental in helping with the writing and production of this track. I mean, more so than any of their past producers and everything. So,
yeah, his fingerprints are all over this record.
Yes. All right. And then track number 10, which we don't really care for. We don't really call it a song. It's just Rock and Roll Party. There's a little bit of music here and there, but it's more of just an atmospheric thing that they just tagged on at the end of the album, maybe just to make it a little bit longer, who knows?
Which I still don't get, because you can almost hear nothing from it. Like, what was even the point? I get, like, you're probably right. It was probably a thing of like atmosphere and to tack on a little bit of runtime, but like, what atmosphere are you building? Because I can't fucking hear you.
Right. Yeah. So not really going to talk about that as much.
Obviously, it'd be all of our discard songs.
Yeah,
so I mean, it's just easier to cut it and move on.
Yeah. Well, speaking of cutting and moving on and being our discard song, we're just going to go ahead and hop right into the 3-in-1. We'll be right back.
Yeah. You feel good!
All right. And we're back with our 3-in-1 segment, which is where we choose 3 tracks, ranked 1, 2, and 3 from this album. And then we do a 1 discard song. So I'm going to go ahead and start with Beau on this one. And we're going to do our top 3 first. What do you got for us?
My top 3, Do You Love Me? King of the Nighttime World, and then Detroit Rock City.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, I'll go ahead and go over to you, Ty.
Man, this is a hard one. Because we've already mentioned, of course, we've done this episode before, and we have to kind of backpedal because of problems. My 3, I don't think are going to be the same 3 I did last time.
Right.
Yeah, mine definitely weren't.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that.
Because I'm going to go ahead and put Do You Love Me up there.
Number 1?
Yeah.
Wow.
And then I'm struggling. I'm going to do Shout It Out Loud. And then that 1.5-minute intro isn't going to be enough to sway me. I'm just going to put Detroit Rock City in there.
Yep. That's exactly mine. I'm going to do number 1, Do You Love Me? Number 2 number 2, I'm probably going to put Detroit Rock City. And then number 3, I'm going to do Shout It Out Loud. King of the Nighttime World is right there with Shout It Out Loud, but I just, it's got to stay at number 4 for me.
Yeah, and I would like to mention real quick, just as a side note, because we have, of course, mentioned the resurrected version a lot throughout this episode.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to, for my benefit, just because I'm going to keep thinking about it if I don't, I want to mention that I really think God of Thunder benefits hugely from the resurrected reworking.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, that's also part of the reason I didn't put it in there, because I do love that song. Of course, I'm more of the metal guy. But the resurrected version of God of Thunder hugely benefits that song.
Yeah. And I love God of Thunder, but I just, for some reason on this album, I just like the album version of it. It just doesn't hit like it does the live versions for me.
Yeah.
All right. 1 discard. I'm going to go to you, Ty, and we'll go to Beau. And by the way, we're not Rock and Roll Party is off the track list.
Yeah, we're cutting that because it'd be the obvious choice.
Yeah.
Man, this one I think is one of the harder ones for me to pick a discard, because I mean, of course there were albums where I didn't really have a song I necessarily disliked. It just, there were some that didn't do anything for me. Every song on here has something that sticks in my brain. You know what I mean? Because like you said, I find myself singing the chorus of Sweet Pain a lot, even though for whatever reason I shouldn't.
Right.
And I find myself laughing at Great Expectations. So like the songs I want to cut, they still do something for me. So it makes it harder. I think I am going to go ahead and say Great Expectations though.
Really?
Just because those lyrics are just so not great.
Yeah, bad. All right, Beau, what about you?
I have a toss-up between Great Expectations and Sweet Pain right now.
Yeah?
Yes, the Great Expectations lyrics are so cringy, but I love the musical aspect of it.
Right.
Which is fair.
So much to where I gotta choose Sweet Pain.
Wow. All right. You know, I think last week I said Sweet Pain when we originally recorded this episode. Now, I'm going to have to go with Great Expectations, just because to me, it doesn't sound like a Kiss song. With as much as I don't like Sweet Pain, it still sounds like a Kiss song.
Yeah, there are certain things about it that you can hear and acknowledge, oh, that sounds like Kiss.
Right. And so that's why I'm going to have to drop Great Expectations, even though I really I like the song. But if I had to, because that's the thing, is like when I think of my discard, I think of discarding one song to make the whole album a little bit better or more cohesive,
right?
You know,
right. But until we got, I mean, so far we've done 5. You know, of course, Alive is kind of hard to do a discard because it's basically a best of album.
Yeah. But
I mean, the only song that we've done a discard on that I genuinely think benefits the album and isn't just like, oh, you know, I'm picking one because like it's my least favorite.
Yeah.
Is Ladies in Waiting off Dress to Kill.
Right.
Like if you drop that song, it makes that album better.
Yes.
There really isn't a song like that on this record unless you're talking about Rock and Roll Party. And of course it's pointless to bring that up.
And then Great Expectations is just it, like, you know, we said, it's just not a Kiss song.
Yeah.
And Beth isn't really, I'm not going to sit here and say Beth isn't a Kiss song, but I just feel like Peter's vocals do so well on that it kind of makes it a Kiss song. You know?
Well, and of course, you know, they do have a couple other ballads that fit in a similar way to Beth.
Yeah.
So
true.
it helps kind of drive it home more as a Kiss song.
Right. So yeah, that's our 3-in-1 segment. I guess we'll go ahead and just go into our certified ratings portion of this show. So Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Yeah! I tell you, you people are hot tonight! And I think you people deserve to give yourselves a round of applause!
Alrighty, and we're back with our certified ratings segment of this show. And basically, if you want to know who certifies these ratings, let me know too, because I don't fucking know. I just call it the certified ratings portion of the show because that's the only thing I can think of.
It's because we certify them because our opinions matter, damn it.
Our opinions are the end all be all.
This is America. No one's opinions matter.
All right. So let's see here. We usually do this 10 out of 10 rating. So I'm going to go ahead and go with Ty.
Oh, shit.
I was looking at Beau.
Threw me for a loop there.
But yeah, 10 out of 10. Out of 10, what would you give this? And any thoughts, comments, and opinions, anything else you want to add?
You know, this one is definitely one where if you'd asked me even just a couple months ago, my opinion probably would have been different.
Really?
I'm just going to go ahead and give it a 10.
Really?
And I hate to do that because I don't want to hand out 10s.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's just so much that works with this record. I find it hard not to.
Yeah. What about you, Beau? Out of 10, any comments, concerns, complaints? The 3 Qs, even though those are all Cs.
Before I would have give this a 10 out of 10. Re-listening to it, I don't see how I can, because there are some lyrics that are bad, and some of the things are just Gotta give it a 9 though. I still really love this album,
which I think is a fair criticism.
All right. My thing is I don't know if I want to give it my first 10, but as an overall album musically, and then also just what it did in the pop culture world and time frame of the 70s, I want to give it a 10.
That's part of why I did.
Yeah. And because I don't really have many 10s in Kiss's discography, honestly, even with the upcoming albums. Like, there's just, obviously we'll get to those when we get to those, so I'm not going to say, but yeah, I think I'm going to give this a 10 out of 10 because it's just overall as an album, it is phenomenal. There's some misses here and there on it, not whole misses of like whole songs, but just like some questionable things. But I think just the overall sound of the album is very consistent, cohesive, and then just it's a pop culture icon. It really is. And that's why I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10.
And I would like to also preface real quick, because of course we intend to continue to do this show for a while. I'm giving this a 10. Believe me, there is a record coming up that I fully intend to shit all over.
Yeah.
So I'm not trying to be biased here,
right.
Especially, like I said, I didn't used to like this album that much.
Yeah.
Man, there is a record I'm going to wholeheartedly shit on.
Oh yeah. I agree. it's coming. There's
anyone who listens to this can speculate on what that one is. I have one particularly in mind that I am ready to just drop trow and just all over it.
Let's go.
I know exactly which one it is.
I know you do, because I made a joke about it already.
Alrighty. Well, basically, I think that's it for this episode, guys.
Yeah, I hope this one turns out better than the last one.
Yeah, gosh, man.
Because if it doesn't, I'm gonna feel real bad for you, because I don't know how I can help.
Yeah. We'll figure it out, and like I said, we'll get Drain back on here soon. So yeah. Thanks for re-recording this one, guys. I really do appreciate that, and thank you for all listening. If you are still listening, go ahead and check out, I usually say last week's episode, but it's actually like 2 weeks now, where we cover Alive, and then all the previous episodes that we did before then. We cover Kiss, Hotter Than Hell, Dressed to Kill, and Alive in the past like month or so. and we give our opinions, our thoughts, a little bit of breakdown, basically what we did throughout this episode as well. So if you want to go ahead and check those out, it really means a lot to us. You can check them out on any podcasting service. You know, we're on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. I'm going to try and start uploading these to YouTube. That way it's kind of easy to find there. But like I said, thanks for listening, guys. It really means a lot to us. If you guys have any feedback, just let us know. You can reach me at king_nothing_ on Instagram and just let us know if there's any portions, segments, or just ideas for the show that you guys have that we could, you know, cover or something. So I really appreciate it. And be sure to look out next week. We are going to be covering Rock and Roll Over. And that one's going to be awesome because that is one of my favorite Kiss albums. It's a little bit of return to their truer form, in my opinion. So, yeah. Anything else you guys want to say? No?
Just that we'll make it up to Drayden later.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, we will. We definitely will. We'll get you on an episode, and we'll have it to where you can be on it throughout the entire thing. So
Yeah. And
all right.
of course, like you said, we're gonna figure something out for that, and then I'm super excited to go over next week's album.
Yeah, that's gonna be really fun, dude. Really, really fun. So, all right. For myself, for Ty, and for Beau, we really appreciate you guys listening. Y'all have a good week, and we'll see you next time.